Hey, welcome to my weekly Redfin live. And every week, I come to you live after the Redfin update is published, and it's usually on Thursdays. And then in the afternoon, about this time, early afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern or so, sometimes before noon, I'll do an update, just reviewing their article and kind of what's changed since last week. So you can go to the Redfin update anytime you want. It's if you just Google weekly Redfin housing report, it'll come up to that page. And then when they release it, like I said, on Thursday mornings, today it was like at 8 a.m. Eastern, they released it, and you can read along with me, or you don't have to watch me anymore. You can just look on the website for yourself and find out. So anyway, let's get to the Redfin update. And this is all national data, pretty much all national data. So I talk about the national picture from a Redfin data perspective, and then I also go into some local data because I'm in Columbus. So I live just outside of Columbus, Ohio, and I'm in real estate. I'm a real estate agent. I'm also an investor, but I live in a small town, a small community. The county I live in is called Licking County. Strange name, I know, but we're about 30 minutes from Columbus, east of Columbus. And so I cover the central Ohio data after the national data. And actually, someone had asked me to do a specific county in central Ohio called Fairfield County. Somebody had made a comment last week and asked me to review that county on my next update. So I'll do that today too, at the end of towards the end of the live today. And then I'll also take comments or questions if anybody's on or has a comment or a question at the end. I'll review those too. Sometimes people are on asking, sometimes they're not. It's okay either way. But a lot of people do watch this afterwards. So I appreciate it if you are watching now, or if you're tuning in, after the live, either way. And again, thank you for being here. Much appreciated. My name is Jason Ferrier. I don't know if I said that at the beginning. I don't think I did. So anyway, thanks for being here. Let's get to it. All right. So Redfin national update. Share my screen here. All right. I think I'm going to go this way. All right, let's do this. All right. The title of this housing market update published today is Housing Market Update. For the first time in nearly 2 years, there's no major American metro where home prices are falling. So, in just a quick preview, home prices are still going up. They're close to where they're actually higher than they were last year, and they're slightly down compared to last week. So they are down by, I think, a couple $100 since last week, but essentially they are up compared to last year. No surprise. But also inventory is up a ton. So active homes for sale, that's up a lot. And mortgage rates, they're up. So housing payments are at an all-time high again. No surprise. And new listings are up. So like new listings are up, active inventory is up in basically almost every area of the United States year over year. And so more homes for sale, but asking prices are higher and median home price is still high. So not a lot has changed with pricing yet. All right. Inventory is below typical April levels, driving home prices up. Continually rising mortgage rates are further eroding affordability, and this week's Fed meeting confirmed that mortgage rates are likely to hold steady for the foreseeable future. The median home sale price rose from a year earlier or stayed the same in all 50 of the most populous U.S. metros during the 4 weeks ending April 28th. The first time that's happened since July of 2022. Nationwide, the median sale price rose to a near record $383,188, up 4.8% year over year. Mortgage rates also continue climbing, with the weekly average hitting its highest level in 5 months. High prices and rates drove the median monthly housing payment to a record $2,890, up 15% year over year. Yikes. So prices are up, and now mortgage payments are at an all-time record high. I said last week I thought they would hit $3,000 a month. They're close, $2,890. And we'll see what interest rate they used here in a second to calculate that. Because my suspicion is when it comes out next week, if prices go up again, unless interest rates drop a lot, it could be over $3,000. Home price increases were driven by affluent metros and a pair of more affordable places. Anaheim, California, where prices rose 20% year over year, took the top spot. It's followed by Detroit, San Jose, West Palm Beach, and New Brunswick, New Jersey. The metros with the smallest price increases were in Texas and Florida. Dallas is unchanged. Austin up 0.3%. San Antonio up 0.6%. Fort Worth 1.9%. And Tampa 2.2% increase. So I'm trying to figure out what are the pair of more affordable places. I guess New Brunswick and Detroit, I guess. I don't know. It's not Anaheim, that's for sure. It's not West Palm Beach. I don't know. That's a weird comment by them. But in any case, home prices basically, they continue to go up. Now, a lot of people are saying, I've seen people lately on YouTube, all of a sudden they're saying this, that the prices are increasing, the median price is increasing because more higher priced homes are selling, but the lower priced homes are not selling. So what do you think of that? Let me know. Do you think that home prices, the data is tainted because more expensive homes are selling and lower priced homes are not selling? I'm curious what you think, because we'll get to that as we go into the data. Low inventory is driving prices up. Really, that's been happening now for a while. New listings are up 15% year over year, but they're still well below typical April levels. There were fewer new listings this April than any other year on record except 2023 and 2020. The year-over-year increase is also inflated because of the Easter effect. Easter didn't fall into the 4 weeks included in this year's data, but the holiday did fall into last year's comparable time period. Some homeowners are hesitant to list their homes because economic indicators point to interest rates staying higher for longer than expected, potentially exacerbating the mortgage rate lock-in effect. Yeah, so we're still plagued by low inventory in many markets. There are a couple markets I've seen lately, like Texas and Florida, that actually have, they're coming back to pre-pandemic levels with inventory. But overall, in the United States, like in Columbus or in Central Ohio, where I am, the lower priced inventory is still not around. It's the higher priced inventory that is coming to market and staying on the market longer. But affordable homes that most people can buy, the average person can purchase, those are not on the market. When they do hit the market, they go off quick. If they're in great neighborhoods and if they're in great, good condition, and they don't need a ton of work, and they're priced right, then they move, and they move quick. Home buying demand is softening as rates rise. Some Redfin agents are reporting that the recent uptick in mortgage rates is scaring buyers away, and mortgage purchase applications declined 2% week over week. Still, there are enough buyers out there to keep prices propped up. Redfin's Home Buyer Demand Index, a measure of requests for tours and other buying services from Redfin agents, is up 3% from a month ago, sitting near its highest level since August. Okay, so they're saying that the Redfin Home Buyer Demand Index is up 3% from a month ago. I don't think I've seen them report it being up at all in the since I've been doing this over the last couple months. And they're saying that there's enough buyers out there to keep prices propped up. So I got a question for you if you're watching this live or later. Do you think that there's enough demand out there that people will continue to purchase even low priced homes? You think that there's enough demand out there to get that done? Or do you think that in all price categories, people are just going to start, sitting on the sidelines and waiting? This week's economic news keeps mortgage rates in a holding pattern. At their May 1st meeting, the Fed held interest rates steady as expected, but kept open the possibility of rate cuts later this year. The Fed meeting is unlikely to push mortgage rates down, but the good news is that it won't push them up either, which could have happened if the Fed took a 2024 rate cut off the table. Even though housing costs shouldn't climb much more, they will remain elevated for the foreseeable future, which could push more buyers away. But for serious house hunters who can afford today's mortgage rates and find a home they love, jumping on it now isn't a bad idea, given the fact that inventory is low and costs aren't dropping anytime soon. Okay, so that's Redfin's wrap up from a narrative standpoint, I suppose. Let's get into the leading indicators, though. This is where all the rubber meets the road. Daily average fixed mortgage rate for 30-year fixed mortgage, 7.41%. Okay, so they are using 7.41 today. I looked and saw it was 7.41. So they are using 7.41. Hopefully, we really honestly probably need 7% rates at least to balance the housing market a little bit, right? To bring some supply back to the market and bring some normalcy to the area and to the market. I think you need that, generally speaking. Let's look at mortgage purchase applications. Mortgage purchase applications decreased 2% from a week earlier, as of the week ending April 26th. So, and it's down 14% year over year. So they're saying buying demand, their home buyer demand index is up 3% since last month, but that always happens in the spring, I would imagine. But mortgage purchase applications are down 14% year over year and decreased 2% from a week earlier. So less people applying for mortgages. Redfin home buyer demand index up 3% from a month earlier, but down 9% from a year earlier. Touring activity up 33% from the start of the year. At this time last year, it was up 28% from the start of 2023. So that's a difference. I don't know why they don't just explain this, unless I'm calculating this wrong, but it looks like that's a difference of 5%. So like you could say touring activity is up 5%. More people are looking for homes, or looking at homes, I guess. Google searches for homes unchanged from a month earlier, down 14%. All right, key housing market data. That's next. Now, they take a look at the top 400 metros in the United States, and that's how they get this data. So they don't look at every metro, they look at the top 400, which is a lot of them, right? A lot of the metros where all the population is. Median sale price, $383,188, 4.8% up year over year, just $73 shy of an all-time high. Yeah, last week we hit an all-time high and then it dropped slightly. Median asking price, this is nuts, $420,000, up 7.7%, all-time high, biggest increase since September 2022. Now, I know for a fact, I just yesterday, I was speaking to somebody who is listing their house, and the house, they bought the house in like the $500,000 range in a suburb of Columbus. And then this was several years ago, though, actually 3 years ago. And now they're going to list it at 800 grand. So regardless if they're going to get 800 grand for it or not, that listing difference is big, right? That's a big difference in the listing price. And so I'm not surprised that the median asking price continues to go up, because I think as more people list their home, because of the appreciation they've seen, they're going to list it for more than they did than the house, or than they purchased it for a couple years ago, right? I mean, so the median payment has gone up. The median house price has gone up. And now if you're going to sell your home, you're not going to sell it for less than you bought it for. Unless you're not going to try to. Maybe you have to, but you're not going to try to. That's not the goal. So you're going to list it for more. And I think there's a lot of sellers maybe that maybe have some rose-colored glasses on, and they think that they're going to continue to just push the envelope on prices. In some areas, they'll probably get it. And in some subdivisions, they'll probably get it. But there has to come a point where they can't ask anymore for their houses. But if more luxury inventory is hitting the market than affordable inventory, because the affordable people are still locked in and aren't giving up their houses, then that's another reason why the asking price could continue to go up. But this is a big increase, 7.7%. Median monthly mortgage payment, $2,890, all-time high. That's up 14.7% year over year. Wow. 14.7%. Unbelievable. And that's at a 7.17 mortgage rate, not a 7.41. Pending sales, 88,000 units, down 3.4%. The decline in pending sales would have likely been bigger if not for the Easter effect. Easter didn't fall into the 4-week period ending April 28th, 2024, but it did fall into last year's comparable period. So they're saying it could have actually been a lot worse if you didn't have the Easter effect, I guess. So pending sales, 88,000. Now look at this, new listings. 101,000 new listings. And pending sales, by the way, are when a property goes into contract. So once a seller and a buyer agree on a purchase price or terms and conditions, and they sign the contracts, the purchase offer, then it's what they call in contract, and then the contract process starts. But that's called a pending sale. So the fact that there's 101 new listings hitting the market, 88,000 going pending. They don't show sales here on this chart, but one could infer that that's a difference of 13,000 units approximately. So we gained 13,000 units nationally. That's, oops, I got a call coming in. Are you still with me on this? Good. So anyway, that's a gain of 13,000 units. So one could assume then that we've gained units, not a lot, but we have gained some. Active listings. So now we get to this part. Let's go back to new listings. New listings, 101,000 units, 15.2% increase year over year. Biggest increase in nearly 3 years, though that's partly because of the Easter effect. More Easter effect stuff, right? Hang on, guys. Let me just check my phone here and see. Oh, we're good. All right. Active listings, 856,350, 11.8% increase year over year. So there are a lot of people, well, not a lot. There are a few people, just a few on YouTube that are saying, hey, if we get 800,000 listings, and then they said 900,000, now they're saying 1 million. If we get that many listings, then the floodgates will open on prices, and prices will just plummet because of that. Because they're looking pre-pandemic and looking at how many listings we had pre-pandemic. But this is one thing I'd love to know from you if you're watching. Are prices, were prices going down before the pandemic where you live? Or were they going up? Not going up like 15%, I mean, like going up like normalcy, like 5% a year. Well, they were in Columbus, I can tell you. I mean, I was a real estate agent then and an investor. And I can tell you that I flipped houses, and I was surprised how much we could sell them for. And this is before the pandemic, like in 2018. So there's no doubt that prices were going up before the pandemic. So the notion that all we need is I guess they're saying another 40,000 listings, and then real estate nirvana will just rain on us and people will just fire sale their properties. I don't know. It seemed like prices were going up before the pandemic, and they have for the last 20 years, right? So it's average, they go up year after year. So I don't know that 1 million listings is going to fix the problem. It may in some markets, every market's different. So it could in some markets, but hopefully it brings some normalcy back to the market. All right. Months of supply, 3.4 months, up 0.6 points. 4 to 5 months of supply is considered balanced. Right. So I guess we're coming into a balanced market. But right now it's still considered a seller's market pretty much. Share of homes off the market in 2 weeks, 43.9%, down from 47%. So houses maybe they're sitting a little longer, but then I look at the next stat, median days on market, 34 days, unchanged. So they're still on the, I guess if you look at all the homes that sell, they're on the market a median of 34 days. Share of homes sold above list price, 30%. Unchanged. Share of homes with a price drop, 6.2%, up 1.9 points, highest level since November of 2022. So people are cutting their price more than they were last year. Or I'm sorry, that's probably not the right way to say it. If you look at the homes on the market, there are more homes with price drops. Average sale to list price ratio, 99.3%, up 0.1 points. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I mean, the share of homes, the price drop at 6.2%, and it's gone up, over the last few weeks. But the average sale to list price ratio, 99.3%, it means that the final list price, most sellers are getting what they're asking when the house sells. But what they're not showing is the average sale to original list price. That's different. So like if you list your house at $100,000 to start off with, and then you're like, man, I'm not getting any love here, I have to drop it to 90 grand or something. Well, and then somebody comes by and offers you 90 grand and you take it, you got 100% of the list price, but you didn't get 100% of the original list price. So this stat, it's a little deceiving. In my market, in the MLS, you can actually see that data on the original list price comparison, but nationally in Redfin, they're not showing that. I'd love to know what that is nationally, though. All right, metro level highlights. So they take the top 50 most populous US metros. I guess some are excluded because of data accuracy. And they talk about those top 50 metros. Median sale price. Metros with the biggest year-over-year increases. Anaheim, California, 22.8% increase year-over-year. That's insane, right? Detroit, Michigan, 14.9. San Jose, California, 13.6. West Palm Beach, New Brunswick. I mean, these metros are on the list almost every week. It seems like the same metros are there. I have to go up to Detroit. I'm not that far away. Find out what's happening in Detroit. If you're in Detroit, let me know. How's the market there? If you're a realtor or you know somebody in Detroit. I don't invest in Detroit. I've looked at a couple deals in Detroit, but I have never bought anything there or really analyzed the real estate market. Prices were unchanged in Dallas. So that's of the top 50 metros, the metros with the biggest year-over-year decreases in prices. There were none. But Dallas, it looks like, was unchanged. So I guess they call that flat, I suppose. Increased or stayed the same in all metros, in nearly all metros. Top 50, just the top 50. Pending sales, San Jose, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Nasty Natty, Seattle, and Cbus, Columbus, Ohio, are all on the top list of pending sales. The pending sales in Columbus, while they're maybe up 4.7%, it's just dismal. There's just no activity because the inventory is so lackluster. Good inventory anyway. Phoenix, Riverside, Atlanta, Houston, Jacksonville, Florida, all on the top list of the biggest drop in pending sales. But pending sales increased in 10 of the 50 metros. New listings, San Jose, Oakland, Phoenix, Seattle, Miami, all had large increases in new listings. I mean, look at San Jose, 50% increase in new listings. Oakland, California, 34% increase in new listings. Wow. I'd love to know in San Jose if that is, I'd like to know in all these markets, in these new listing markets, is the inventory expensive inventory, or is it like inventory that everybody can afford or the average person can afford when it comes to the price point? And forget mortgage rates for a second. Just like if your median price in Phoenix, I'm just going to guess, if the median price is 499 grand or 490 or something, like, are you seeing houses at like $350,000 for sale that are like ready to move into, or 400 grand for sale, ready to move into? Or they're all the new listings hitting the market like 750, 800, million, million five. And the same with Miami, Seattle. I just like to know. Milwaukee is the place. It declined in just one metro, and that was Milwaukee. Down 0.3%. 0.3%, not 3%, 0.3% in new listings. So all metros they study are up basically because of the Easter effect, I guess. That's funny, right? Because of the Easter effect. All right. Let's do some of the graphs now. Got another call coming in. Who's that? Don't want to talk to them either. All right. Median sale price up 4.8% year over year. That's a 4-week rolling average of median sale price. Like, there it is, right? It's kind of going up. You know, you think maybe as we enter late summer and fall, it'll, you know, level off and then go down like it usually does in the winter. But man, it keeps going up. That's for sure. There's no doubt. Median asking price up 7.7% year over year. Wow. And this is just going straight up. So it's either more expensive houses hitting the market, or people are just asking crazy amounts of money for their houses. Maybe, you know, it has, you know, if you look at both stats, median asking price going up, price drops going up, people just keep asking more for their house to start off with, and then they have to drop it, right? I can't tell you how many sellers I've worked with where, and it's gone both ways, by the way. I've worked with sellers where they have said, Jason, this is where I want to list my house for. I've done some studying, market studying. I've looked at my neighbors. I want to list my house here. And I'm like, man, all right. And I show them some stats and some comparable sales. And I say, you know, if it's priced too high, that's going to be deadly, because it'll sit and rot on the market. And then people take shots at it, and it's likely to sell for less. So it's better to list it at a reasonable price that, you know, will create some buying activity and not, you know, not try to be so greedy. And there's been several times where they've actually been right over the last few years, last 3 years in particular. People have said, here's where I want to list my house. I think it's too high. I tell them that almost without directly telling them that. I want them to make that decision, but then they get the price they want. But I've also worked with sellers that say, this is what I want, and then we have to cut the price. And so maybe it's because people are asking more for their houses. You know, now there's more price drops. So just unrealistic sellers, maybe. But in any case, median asking price is just up. Home buyer housing payments up 14% year over year. Nuts, right? It's funny, if you start working, if you're a real estate agent, you tell me if there's one on, or you're watching this later. Tell me if you run into this, but there are people you'll work with, that buyers that, because they're just entering the housing market now, like over the last year, they don't know rates of 3 and 4%. That's not even something they even think about. They're like, oh, rates are 6, 7%, almost 8. Yeah, that's what they've been for the last year. So no big deal. That is just what it is. And they have to adjust their price, right, on how much they can afford. All right, pending sales down 3%. It wants to go up. You know, there wants to be more action. I think as we have more inventory, there'll be more action. I hope so, but it's still stagnant, and it's definitely lower than it has been over the last 3 years, right? New listings of homes up 15% year over year. Oops, I'm going to plug in my laptop. So more homes are being listed. That's good. We need that. We need a lot more listings. We need a lot more listings. So we need to get the months of supply up, need to get the active inventory up. Active listings of homes for sale up 12% year over year. That's going up. It's not straight up, but it's definitely going up. I mean, look at the previous years, like 2022, it shot way up, right? I mean, shoot, in 2022, look at that. We almost hit 1 million listings. Almost did. So we're working on getting to that number again. 3.4 months of supply on the market. Months of supply is if you didn't add any more listings and you're at your current sales pace, which has been a snail's pace. That's what this measure is. That's that metric. I mean, it's up, but it needs to be a lot better. You just need more supply, more good supply. Pending sales, 44% of pending sales under contract within 2 weeks. That's less than it has been, the other years prior, no doubt. So maybe homes are sitting longer. Homes sold in a median of 34 days. It's about where it was last year, certainly higher than it was in 21 and 22. %30 of homes sold above final list price. This shows us that people are still paying what the seller is asking what the final list price is, not necessarily the original list price. So there could have been a price cut before they got to the actual list price that they sold it at. But yeah, from my experience with writing offers over the last couple of weeks with buyers and working with some sellers, people are basically getting what they want for houses when they have them priced right out of the gate. And I also say that I've worked with some buyers lately that we've written offers and were beat because there were 8, 9, 10, 13 offers, over asking, no contingencies, waiving inspections, all that malarkey. And thankfully, I'm working with some buyers that don't want to play that game because I think that they're just being more patient and they're not willing to, skip an inspection, which is probably something that you usually shouldn't do, is skip an inspection. But people are still skipping those. And we're also losing to a lot of cash offers. And we're talking about houses priced from $200,000 to $300,000. And I'm still shocked. Like, people are just willing to write a check not writing a check. They're wiring the money, but they're paying cash, all cash for these houses, even at $200,000 and $300,000. So I know rates are 7%, but it baffles my mind that they still want to just drop $300,000 cash on a house. And these are houses that are like move-in ready houses. They're not like rehab houses, which a lot of people do pay cash for. 6.2% of listings had price drops. Yep. And it's just straight up. Look at that. So you look at this set of data and then look at asking price, and they kind of look the same, right? They're both up. So people keep saying, hey, I'll ask more and more for my house. And then they're like, oh, I got to drop it more and more. So maybe that's the correlation there. Average homes sold for 99.3% of final list price. Yep. And that's going up, but it always does this time of year. Thankfully, less than 22 or 21. Still more than last year, though, which is interesting. Redfin Homebuyer Demand Index down 9% year over year. I mean, this has kind of been pathetic this year. Really was pathetic, I guess, last year too. So there's just not a lot of demand out there, thankfully. If there was a lot of demand, the situation would be even worse. Hopefully they don't lower interest rates anytime soon. When I say soon, the next year, if they didn't, it's probably unrealistic. But if they didn't lower interest rates, it definitely would help, help us with inventory. There's no doubt. All right. So let's do the next thing we're going to look at is that usually I go to this chart here, which is the data center chart from Redfin to look at individual counties or metros. But the weekly housing data is broken at Redfin. Like they don't have the selections here to go through the different categories. So I apologize. I can't do that the way I usually do. But instead, what I'll do is go to the local MLS. And I'll show you this. All right, so this is the local MLS, and I'm going to just change it, the location. And this is for April, actually. This is all of April data. It's probably 99% accurate. I give them a few more days after the month to make sure it's all loaded in. But this will tell us the story about the local Columbus market. Again, I can't use Redfin on it. Usually you can. Can't now because that page is broken. All right, so let's look at new listings. Let me just open this into this. There we go. Yeah, all right. Market summary. So I'll run through this real quick. I'm going to talk about Fairfield County. Somebody asked for that, and then I'll get to the comments or questions. All right, residential. This is a number of new listings. We've got blue is active listings here, green, new listings. So new listings, 3,354. It's going up. It doesn't show how much it went up year over year. And actually, this doesn't go back year over year, but you can see the trend is definitely up, which is good. However, what's weird is active listings. Look at active listings going down. So active listings going this way, new listings going this way, meaning I guess they're being absorbed as they come on market. Here's prices. So sold prices in Central Ohio, we're at $317,000 for the median sale price in Columbus, in Central Ohio. Now, the record, this is MLS data, by the way. This isn't Redfin data. So Redfin, there's always differences, right? And Redfin calculates it on a 4-week rolling average for their weekly update. This is all of April data going back through March of 2023. So that's a lot of detail you don't need to know. But $317,000 they're saying is the median sale price. We hit a record, according to the MLS, we hit a record of 323 for the MLS in Columbus and a record of 343 for Redfin, both in June of 23. So you can see it back here, 324. That was the record. So we're approaching the record here in Columbus, and I don't think it's going to crash. I think we're going to continue to see price appreciation. There's just no good supply, and we have a massive explosion of demand in the area, mainly because of Intel. So we have a $20 billion, upwards of $100 billion Intel microchip processing facility being built about 10 minutes from where I am right now. All right, let's look at absorption rate. So this is like months of supply, kind of, really, is what it is. They just call it a different, they have a different terminology for it. 1.31 months of supply. That's right. 1.31. What was national? 3.4. This is 1.31. So I consider this a strong seller's market. Like if you're under 2, I think that's a strong seller's market, or sellers are basically completely in control. That's nuts. It's going down too. It's not going up at all. Sold to list ratio, 100.3%. Last month it was 100%, but now it's 100.3%. So it's still going up. We're now over 100%. Like I said, bidding wars. Not surprised there. Days on market down 28 days, average days on market. Price volume. And look at that. All right. So one more thing about the, actually, let me show you this. So I'm going to go to Fairfield County. Somebody had asked for me to check out Fairfield County. So I'll go ahead and do that. Again, I would do this in Redfin to keep it consistent, but it's broken, so I cannot. All right. Fairfield County. Well, new listings are up a lot. So I guess that's good news. Active listings are flat over the last few months. They've been flat. So I would expect more inventory to be building, hopefully. List prices, I'll take off this and do sold median list or sold median price, 340 grand. Wow. So it's more than overall in Central Ohio. It's obviously higher than that because we were at like what, 312. So now this is 340,000 for Fairfield County. Yeah. And I mean, it's up and down over the last several months, right? Not a whole lot of consistency. But where did they, let's see, was this a record? 357,000? That may have been a record. I'd have to go back to 22 and look. But I mean, prices don't seem to be crashing in Fairfield County. I wouldn't think they would. It's a good place to live. Absorption rate in months, it's not going down, but it's not going up. Maybe we'll see a change because we see new listings rising and active listings kind of, hopefully active listings will start increasing as new listings rise. But right now, it's still bad with absorption rate in Fairfield County. Sold to list ratio, same as Central Ohio, 100.3. Days on market, 24.3. Yeah. So not a ton of detail for Fairfield County, but I hope that helped whoever asked for that. Let's look down here though, because this is another piece of info I was going to show you guys. So this breaks down the price categories of houses. So this, let me go to active listings. So this is, if we look at active listings, $2,024 for over $500,000 houses in Fairfield County, we have 48 houses for sale. Last year we had 35. That's a difference of a difference of 37% increase in $500,000 plus houses. Now, for a lot of areas of the country, that's average houses, but for here, that's expensive. So 37% increase. Now, let's look back down through here and look. Wow, look at this. 171% increase in $200,000 to $250,000 houses. Still only 19 units, but still more active inventory there. But this is where I think things get goofy because now you've got down 57%, down 57% for 160,000 to 179 or 180 to 199. Here's a big increase, 3 units to 1 unit compared to last year. So you see a lot of negatives here on this side of the fence, or this when you look at the lower price houses. The higher price houses, 300 to 399, 400 to 499, 500,000 plus. You have a lot more inventory. So my theory is that a lot of the price growth, a lot of the median price growth and fact that more expensive houses are selling is because there's a lot more active inventory for expensive houses. So check this out. I put this together earlier today. I thought this was pretty cool. So this is a chart I made. By the way, if you're a data geek, you should go to Data Wrapper, this website, Data Wrapper. It's free, 100% free. And you can create all these cool charts with data. So I don't know if whatever business you're in, if you're in real estate, great. If you're not, you're in like other sales or whatever, and you want to show a customer something and wow them, like you can put these charts together in minutes. And I got this from Lance Lambert, like the guy from Resi Club uses Data Wrapper. And so I went to Data Wrapper, and now you can use it and it's free. So I loaded in Central Ohio, the active listings for April 2024. and I looked at them by price point. And so this compares in my market what where the inventory is. Where is it compared to last year? So left-hand side is this year, right-hand side is 2023. And you can see that there are some lower price points that have slightly more inventory. So like this, we have 28 more listings now on this category, a $60,000 house. That probably makes people go crazy if they're in markets that are really expensive, right? But most of the categories of low price houses have less this year. Like really where people can afford houses in Columbus, I mean, there's less inventory than last year. But there is more inventory in the $200,000 to $250,000 price category. Not a ton, but there is more. But then, and also in the 250 to 300 and 300 to 400, there's more this year. So in all these areas have more inventory. 400 to 500, there's more, and then $500,000 plus, there's a lot more. I mean, that's 240 listings more on when you're looking at 974 total listings of that price category. So inventory overall in Columbus looks like it's up, and it is, but a lot of it's stacked in the higher price points. It's not in the affordable prices. It's not in the houses that people want. The average everyday person can afford. It's in houses that are priced well above the median. The median, we just looked at it, it's 310,000 or 312, whatever. So it's like, it's 317. So it's like, if you have a house that's priced 500 grand, I mean, most people aren't going to buy that. So I think that's why that inventory is building. And we just need more affordable inventory. I don't know how many times I can say that. All right. So that was a cool little feature, Central Ohio active listings. All right. Go to the comments. All right. Hey, put some of these up here. Oh, yeah. So, hey, Travis from Real Estate Mindset got on at some point. I wonder if he's still on or not. I don't know. He may be. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching, Travis. Appreciate it. Hey, Jeff M. Oh, go back to Raymond real quick. Raymond's all excited about Real Estate Mindset. Does anybody actually have a question here? Jeff M. I see him around on the internet sometimes. There'll be no housing crash under the median. And I don't think so either. Even that's where most people need the housing crash. See what Raymond has to say. Raymond Ruminations. That's a cool name. I think he's out of Southern Ohio somewhere. I can't remember. Troy. He's out of Troy, Ohio. Columbus was a buyer's market pre-2017. It all changed so fast. Yeah, it may have been a buyer's market. May have been I guess from a months of supply standpoint. I have to go back and look if it was a buyer's market. I can tell you from flipping houses, we definitely were able to flip houses and get them into contract pretty quickly. And as an agent, I didn't run into a lot of bidding wars, but there was definitely competition. So I would call it more of like a healthy market. But yeah, point taken. It was definitely easier then. And then everything did change. Jeff M., the U.S., yes, the U.S. population will be 600 million by 2045. The whole world is coming here. Okay. Yeah. We just need more houses for them to live in, I guess. See if they have any other comments that are fun. Yeah. Raymond says Franklin and Delaware counties are ridiculous. Yeah, they are. They are, no doubt. Oh, they're out talking about Meet Kevin. Let's see what Real Estate Mindset had to say. You can see how each content creator kind of leans into the local market trends. Yeah, no doubt. That's just easier to pull data because you have your MLS, right? So you can kind of get some details you don't find on Redfin. Oh, here we go. This guy. Wickhawks. Anaheim, California is wild. It is. The prices there are nuts. Like they just keep going up, up, up. I wonder down the road if they'll drop it all. I don't know why everybody is moving to Anaheim. I used to live in Southern California, and Anaheim's a good city. But yeah, prices there are crazy. San Jose is likely to tech leaving California. Yeah. I don't know. Prices keep going up there. It'd be interesting to see. Pending sales are up a ton. New listings are up there, I believe so as well. So it's like, will prices start dropping? Boy, you think the people there would hope so at some point. Anyway, hey, I appreciate the comments and some people jumping on. And yeah, if you're watching this, sorry, I was paying attention to the comments. I shouldn't do that. Please let me know if you have a market you'd like me to analyze, particularly in Central Ohio. I'm happy to do it. And man, if you're a buyer out there, I highly suggest that you get creative. If you want to find a deal in the market now, you can watch the MLS. You can work with a realtor. You can look at Zillow. You can look at Redfin. But there's some techniques you can use to find a deal that's off market that no one else can find. And so I'm working on a series of videos right now that I'll launch that talk about how I do this, what kind of techniques I use. It's not the only technique to use. I'm not a wizard, but they do work for me. And so in essence, if you just get in your car and drive the streets of the neighborhoods you want to live in or that you want to invest in, like in my case, and then just look for properties that look like maybe they're struggling a little bit. You know, they have some weeds growing on them. So in like the summertime, you can catch it because the stuff's not pruned at all and kind of growing all haywire. If they have old cars in the driveway, they're just abandoned. If there's, deferred maintenance, like the house is messed up or there's the roof it needs a new roof, or maybe even just looks abandoned or unkept, I'll say. Then I just write that address down and then I accumulate those addresses. I go back to my office. I look up the owner information, and there's different programs that you can use to find it, or you can use public information if you're in a disclosure state. And then I mail them letters. And when I do that and I do it enough, I always find a deal. I always find an opportunity. Now, it's not always something I want to buy as an investor, but if I was looking for a primary residence, that's exactly how I would find a house. I would not just wait for the MLS, and I would not just use Zillow. You can use those avenues, but man, I find deals by getting in my car and driving. And I call it driving for dollars, but that's not my tagline. It's been used for years. And then I come back, look up the owner information, mail them a letter, and the letter just says, hey, I noticed your house. I'd like to talk to you about buying it. Give me a call if you're interested. And sometimes you get calls from people that say, stop, don't send me any more letters. Okay, no problem. You just take them off your list. But you'd be surprised how many people say, hey, I was thinking about selling my house, or, tell me what you're thinking. And I've picked up listings that way too, because sometimes it doesn't make sense for me to buy the house. And it's a house that somebody else maybe, it's a better listing. It just depends on their situation. But I find a lot of multifamilies this way. And I'm confident that if most people tried that technique, they could find a deal that's off market. Now, I have other colleagues that knock on the door. They'll actually go to a house and go, oh, hey, look at that house. Looks like it needs some help. Maybe I'm going to go knock on the door. And they just go up and knock on the guy's door and ask him, hey, are you interested in selling? And if you are someone who, if you're an owner occupant, if you're looking to move in the house yourself, I would say you have a much better chance of landing a deal than I do as an investor, because a lot of people, they maybe probably rather sell to somebody who's going to move in with their family and take care of it. So anyway, I like driving for dollars. I think that's a great way to find opportunities in real estate. But to each their own. Anyway, that was my piece of advice for the end of the video. And thank you for watching. We'll do this again next week. Redfin data update on Thursday after it comes out. Have a great rest of the week, and see you on the next video.